My grandmother-in-law's called Maureen Fry.
Oh, is she?
So she's very excited about seeing this.
Maureen Fry.
Maureen Fry is her name. But I found out your driver is called... my name's Stephen Pape, which is quite an unusual name. I think your driver who's doing Sorting You Out for
Today,
has got
yeah.
the same name as me. Stephen Pape.
Birth names?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, you see, that means that you've got to bring your mother-in-law yourself to see the film.
I'm going to have to.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever met a fellow Penelope Wilton or Jim Broadbent before?
I did meet a Jim Broadbent.
Yeah.
He was a bookie in Newbury, Newbury races. I said, I thought I'd bet with you. My name's Jim Broadbent too. He said, good.
They matched your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Took my money and said, good.
Yeah. Jim, I'm going to start with you because I know you narrated the audio book for this. So I just wonder, is this a story that's kind of been with you or one that's been quite close to your heart for some time?
Yeah, and then because read the audiobook. To read an audiobook, you have to read it 3 times at least when you read it to see what the story is. Read it and mark it up, and then you read it for the recording. So I knew it very well, but years had passed when it transpired that they were going to make a film. But so it was the script came quite fresh, actually, in a way, because of the slight changes and that Rachel had done a wonderful adaptation of her own book. And it's much easier when the writer has done her own adaptation.
Yeah.
Because the writer isn't then complaining about what somebody else has done to it.
No.
But you played her dad in something, is that right?
I played her, yes, in The Winter's Tale, in the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield in 1987.
And Penelope, obviously Harold Fry is the name on the poster, but I thought Maureen's such a wonderful, so much profound sort of elements, such a complex character. How kind of important is it for you when taking on a role like this, that there's so much for you to kind of work with as there is here? There's so much kind of bubbling under the surface.
Well, indeed, that's exactly, and that's what you're dealing with. And it's quite hard, actually, because a lot of... both Harold and Maureen spend a lot of time by themselves. So you're acting by yourself. Harold has little visits from people that last a day. Sometimes I went weeks, in the story, without seeing anybody. And behind those awful white net curtains, she'd cut herself off. So the complexities of her thoughts, and also and her thoughts and her feelings of his journey, and her feelings of herself and what she's left with when he's gone, and how she's dealing with herself, is all quite difficult to put in. And in a day, I would have a number, because all my scenes were shot at the end. And in the day, I might have a number of scenes where I'm doing very, very complex things in very different circumstances in each scene, but all under the same roof. So it wasn't easy.
You mentioned the curtains. Obviously they didn't last the full film. Well, how was that scene to shoot? Was that quite cathartic when you have to rip the curtains off?
Yeah, well, it was lovely because I'd been sitting behind them for ages. So it was heaven pulling them down.
Yeah, and Jim, I know you didn't have to actually walk the distance of the UK, but you're always walking in this film. Your character is always kind of on the move, and I've been on film sets before, and they do multiple takes on these kind of things. Was it quite tiring and exhausting? Because I guess you were kind of constantly kind of on your feet during the making of this.
It was quite tiring, because we'd film it one way. We got a nice road, and we'd film it with me going up the road. And then the camera would go behind me, and they'd film it again, me going up the road. So there was... But actually, I did less walking than the crew. I was only walking when they were filming. The crew were running around all the time because we had step counters, and they said, how much do you walk today? Less than you.
Do you guys walk much? Do you have dogs, maybe? Dogs are a great way to...
We're both walkers, aren't we?
Yeah, we both like walking. Yes, I don't have a dog.
No, me neither.
Do you find they're quite good for the creative process? Do you find yourself running over lines and stuff when you go walking?
I find it's a wonderful thing to walk, because you do sort things out in your head, especially if you're by yourself. It's also something that's very nice if you're with somebody who is companionable to walk with, because you can have conversations and silences. But actually, walking by yourself, you do find you sort a lot of things out. And also you're not always thinking about things, you're just looking.
Yeah, I love to walk alone, in fact. But when I see big groups of people walking with red socks and walking boots and backpacks and things, and 12 of them all walking. I think, no, that's not my idea of walking at all. I just want to be on my own.
I felt that way with the film, and when you kind of lots of people tagged along with Harold, I was like, no, let him do this on his own. Yeah, but,
I would have had much less patience than Harold did.
But my sort of final question, really, because obviously this is based on a novel, a wonderful novel. Just when you've both had really wonderful careers, have you ever thought about memoirs or autobiographies or kind of putting some of your experiences to page?
I do write occasionally when if there's no acting that's appealing to me. I do something creative. Sometimes it's writing, sometimes it's sort of art work of one and the nature of another. But not a memoir. No, I've got no interest in writing about me.
No, I've no interest in writing about me. Although I read a lot of biographies and about other people, and I like reading about people's experiences and so on. But I wouldn't like to write one myself. No.
Anything about your time on Only Fools I'd find very fascinating to read there. Well, thank you so much for your time today, guys. Much appreciated. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!